did the gagging and the spitting. And luckily, I wish I would have stayed in contact with the woman that was sitting next to me. She was she like really pumped me up. She's like, oh, your turn. She was the best cheerleader. She pushed my head in and I was like, yeah, this is fucking great.
Yeah, they don't think you could do it, but tell you to try when they talk. All I hope had to keep it alive, spend a day in the Bronx, but you wouldn't survive. Can be low when I pop out, they know I've arrived. I go have conversations with Zoe, he gon' tell me pull up and come say what you know. I've been up, I can count all them days in a row. We don't say what we do, we be making the show. They say I'll be
the voice of the Bronx. We have Bronx Land with the guys that are out here. Can I get a yeah?
Yeah. Leave them all right where they at. Try to diss me, I bet I don't even react. Put a show on, I bet you somebody gon' yeah. I pick me a book up and drink me some water, invest in the stock. All
right, peace and love, world. Welcome to another episode of Conversation with Zoe. Today is a very cool day. You know, we've had a lot of cool days lately. Summer, it's the last day of summer.
Is it really?
Right? It's the last day of summer. You know, I think 22nd is the first official day of fall, whatever it is. But hey, you know, we've had a great summer. I can't complain. I'm happy that people are here, liking, subscribing, commenting, engaging. Thank you for everybody who's been here along the journey. And today we have the beautiful Alexis Fawx with us today. How you doing?
Yay! Thank you so much for having me.
No,
this
thank
is
you.
Really cool.
Listen,
I love your studio.
Put it out there. Listen, shout out to WTF Media Studios, where many beautiful things happen. You know, it's beautiful people. You know?
Yeah.
Thank you. We're gonna put this out there first because a little life flex, but you DM me first.
Yes, I did.
Thank you. You know what I mean? So hey, put that out there. You know, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, just the fact that you would consider, you know, coming on my show. I'm always really, I'm still in the early stages, even though I've been doing this a while, but I'm like humbled, honored, like super, like, just like it's cool, like, damn, like somebody loves my show. Somebody really like sees themselves wanting to be a part of it. So that's always super cool for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I love a good conversation and I love positivity and saw a bunch of my friends on it. And I was like, okay,
Right.
I'm coming to New York. Let's jump
Listen,
on this.
shout out
Let's
to
do
Kiki,
it.
shout out to Emma Rose.
Yeah.
You know, shout out to Josh and Jane, you know, all Conversation with Zoe alums.
Yeah.
You know, so we're going to get to it. So we have the Highest Fox show.
Yes.
Right. What's that about?
Well, actually, it started as a comedy show with a connection with cannabis. So cannabis-friendly comedy show. We were running that. I was hosting and producing that in LA. And then 2020 hit. And so since nobody was actually meeting up at that particular time, we turned that into a podcast show. Me and my best friend, my business partner, Webmaster Joe, also known as Asian Joe. And yeah, it's been fun. That's quite an interesting journey. Actually hosting and producing the comedy show and also doing the podcast. It's a lot of growth in there. You know, being, you know, everybody's like, oh, well, why would you be so nervous either hosting and being on stage or even just doing the podcast? Well, it's a lot different than being on set.
Yes.
You know, you get used to the lights and cameras. I've been doing that for like 12, 13 years. And like, and it doesn't mean I don't get nervous when I go on set. Of course I do. Definitely not as much as I did in the beginning. But I have some years of experience of that. Jumping on stage and being in front of a live audience or even just, you know, producing your a podcast. Coming up with that content. You know, you're waiting for people to respond back to what you're saying in some way or level, whether it's immediately when you're on stage or in the comments. You know, is this episode going to hit? Are they going to like that? It's a whole different pressure.
Yes.
You know, I never had the back of my knees swept before until I walked on stage to host and produce a comedy show. And, you know, and a lot of those people that were on the comedy show, I was friends with. So it's not like it was like awkward and complete strangers. Yes, some were. It still was a nervous. It still was a little, it was a completely different ballgame.
It's about finding your rhythm, you know, like, and that takes time, you know, like even, you know, when I started doing interviews, it was trying to remember everything. And I found that I'm more comfortable doing my homework, having my iPad and prepping for the interview and coming in prepared and that letting that guide the conversation.
100%. Yeah, I realized that too at the podcast. So I was like, all right,
this
is where the homework starts.
And
what I also realized is also being on the end of being interviewed, I love it when people have done some homework and aren't always asking you the same questions. They come up with something different because, again, after being in the industry for now 13 years, you know, a lot of the same questions have gotten asked, which I totally understand some of them because I am hitting different fan bases and everything like that. But it's always so impressive and such a I don't know, it just makes it a lot more fun when I know the person's done a little research.
Absolutely. Well, we definitely got a good one
Thank
for you today, I promise you. So we have HAF Coffee.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Formerly known as High AF Coffee, but a lot of people thought that had THC in it.
Right.
I was like, I couldn't ship it to you if
Right,
you
right,
did. Like, I'm not trying to get in trouble. Can you imagine?
Like, that'd be
You
crazy.
can just ship it to Germany. No,
Yeah.
I do not. So we did a rebrand and did HAF Coffee, like half coffee. So it is my coffee beans, grind, tea, coca. And we also sell the little Keurig cups, coffee cups and stuff like that. I love coffee.
Yes.
Hence I'm drinking one right now. And I kind of fell in love with, just different roasters around the world. Like every time I go to a different country or city, I try to seek out the local roasters or the local beans and try out their coffee. And it's really interesting. It's just like if you can... they have wine tastings. They also have coffee tastings.
Right.
Yeah. So, figuring out what I liked and what the smooth flavors were.
Right.
And then I just kind of developed the coffee brands and the beans that I want.
Super cool. Alexis Fawx Blonde Ale.
That's the beer collab.
Beer,
Look at you.
Right?
You got to come to Vegas, honey.
I'm coming to Vegas. Yeah, I listen. I got a lot of reasons to come to Vegas. So.
I got all the pleasure products on lockdown.
Right,
It's like, what do you need?
Right.
So yeah, I'm living in Vegas. I'm kind of habitual. I like being a local. I like finding out local places, local eateries, wines. Like I said, I find out the coffee beans. I'm going there.
Right.
And there's like this awesome little this wine spirits place where all the locals go called Corey's, and I go and I frequent there often. So you can find I have a couple beer collabs actually, and you can find my Cheers to Breakfast there, which is the beer collab with Astronomy Ale Works. It's a local brewery in Vegas as well, and also they brew my Alexis Fawx Blonde Ale. Right. So and how that all spawned was just me having the coffee business. They wanted to do a coffee beer with Astronomy. Or Astronomy Ale Works wanted to do a coffee beer, and we put my coffee in it, and Cheers to Breakfast did so well that we just kept on doing different collabs.
Right.
Yeah.
Super cool. So I hope I pronounce this right. It's Insouciant? Insouciant?
Let me see.
You have it on your bio.
Oh, yeah. So that means like living carefully.
How do you pronounce it?
Oh, God. How do you say it again?
Let's see. Insouciant.
Insouciant,
right?
I believe, yeah.
Free from concern.
I'm terrible at pronouncing words too, so don't.
Free from all right, so hey,
living carefree.
Living carefree, worry of anxiety.
Yeah.
Nonchalant.
Yeah.
That's
and
who we are.
I think I kind of excuse that's my persona.
Right.
I love living carefree and just, doing the things that give me joy and pleasure and, along the way.
All right. What's your favorite song?
Favorite song? Okay, well, one of my favorite brands is Thievery Corporation. So probably anything really from them.
Right. Gotcha. How do you like your coffee?
Right now I'm having a flat white, but I typically have my coffee every morning. I have a raw egg and coconut oil in my coffee. So just like 2 shots of espresso or black coffee, I blend it with raw egg and coconut oil. And I have that every single morning at home.
Right. Favorite movie?
Clockwork Orange, Scarface.
Nice. Celebrity crush?
Ooh, it would be either Scarlett Johansson or Christian Bale.
Send them a message. Say something.
Send them a message. You should see.
Say something to them right now. You're gonna see this. This is gonna get to them right here.
Let's meet up and have a threesome.
Right. All right. There it is. Here's the message.
Look, I'm not looking for attachment. Just a little fun. See, I'm living up to the term.
Right. All right.
A little carefree.
Carefree. Favorite country?
Oh my God. You know what? I'm going to say Costa Rica with that just because I love Costa Rica so much. Have you ever been there?
I haven't.
Oh my God,
my
I
family's
recommend
from
it.
Honduras, so I'm not far.
Oh,
So I definitely got to go check it out.
Definitely check it out. They have wonderful coffee. The landscape. I'm a big nature person, so like you can either hit the hot springs or the mountains or the beaches. You're in the jungle. Like the food is amazing. The culture is amazing. I love the people. Like I get Airbnbs and like where I can like stay with like a family.
Right.
I've had like. And I don't speak the best Spanish. Like my
Right.
Spanish sucks. I'm not even going to try.
Right.
I can read it. I can understand it if it's spoken slowly, but to communicate, I'm horrible, which is something I should really work on.
Right.
But I've sat down and I've had like dinners and lunches with people and just had just the best time.
Right.
Like when you just break bread with people and you
Right.
just eat with them, I don't know, it's a whole nother level.
Right.
Highly recommend it.
Condoms or raw?
If I'm in a relationship or something like that, I would say go raw. If I'm just out and about, I would say cover it up just because
Right.
I mean, I test, and
Right.
if I'm going to be with somebody, I'm going to like require them to test as well. I think it's important for us to all know our status. And for those that don't know, like for 13 years now, I've been getting tested almost every 14 days.
Right.
When I first got in, it was every 30 days, but
Right.
we've made mass improvements to our testing and stuff like
Right.
that. So I always know my stats,
Right.
and so if you don't know someone's stats, cover it up,
Right.
protect yourself.
Do you have any frequent partners?
No.
No.
I mean, I have frequent partners on set
Okay.
because I see a lot of the same people all the
Right.
time. But no, I don't. I'm not really dating anybody like on a. I kind of like the variety. I'm in my hoe phase.
Right.
I really realize that.
you?
I'm like, I've been in my hoe phase for a while.
Yeah.
I like it here.
Say that.
I like it here. Like,
I
I'm
like
not
that.
trying to look.
And I like that for you. I love that for you.
Yeah, it's funny because like one of the top questions I get asked a lot is like, "Are you single? Do you have a boyfriend?" And I like, why don't you just ask me like, do you want to be single? Yeah, I do want to be single right now.
Right.
I'm enjoying being single life. I like the idea of dating a variety of people at a variety of different times. And I don't like putting like, a box name on it as poly or this or pan. I'm not like that. Like I
Right.
like who I like when I like them. And if it's just for a short time period, that's cool. If it's going to extend out a couple months, that's cool too. But
Right.
I'm not expecting anything. I like my hoe phase.
Right.
I'm having fun over here.
I heard you. I like that. So we're gonna go into a little personal info.
Okay.
So Alexis Fawx is your name?
Yes.
Your parents gave you that name?
No.
Okay.
I have a different name. It's my pseudo name. It's my
Yeah.
actress name that I go
Okay.
by. Yeah.
Born June 23rd.
Yes.
Cancer.
Yes.
Hometown, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Measurements, 32 triple D.
I think my tits are bigger now
Okay.
with improvements.
Okay. Could we have an update?
Yeah, gosh. Okay, so I think in Honey Burdette, I think I'm a G cup. I think I'm a 32G or 34 double G or something like that. I don't know. Kind of varies.
Right.
Time of the month.
Height 5'4".
Yes.
Hair
On a
color,
good day.
Hair color blonde.
Actually, my original hair color is brunette and brown.
Okay.
Obviously, I've changed my hair color several
Okay.
times.
Hair color, no, got that. Eye color hazel.
Yes.
Piercings, navel.
Yeah. Oh, and my septum now.
Okay.
Yeah. I did my septum when I was 19, but then I took it out for some reason and just redid it this year.
I don't know why it has your shoe size here. It says women's 6.5.
Yes, my shoe size. I do get a lot of requests for my feet, so maybe that has something to do with it. Sometimes I'm a 7, sometimes I'm 6.5.
Yeah, it says 6.5/7.
Sounds like it's a rating of some sort. Are we rating my feet now?
Yeah. Years active, 2010 to present.
Yes.
Number of scenes, 150 plus.
Oh, I would say definitely much more, yeah.
Right.
I don't know exactly how many scenes, but there's been a lot out there. And plus, like, there's a lot that haven't even been released yet.
Right.
It's so funny when, like, an older one gets released and I had blonde hair.
Right.
And then everybody thinks I dyed my hair back to blonde. And I'm like,
right.
come on.
It's a throwback.
The tits are different. No, I'm just kidding.
So, describe your childhood.
Gosh, okay. So I was like a tomboy. I do have a sibling. We're 8 years apart. So I kind of feel like I grew up like a single child for most of it because of the years were just so different.
Right.
You know, I was going into the military when he was like super young still and everything like that.
Right.
So we're not like super close, but I do have a sibling. I grew up in Pennsylvania, you know, Appalachian Trail backyard kind of thing. So I was always out and about hiking. A lot of the neighbor kids were all boys. So I was always playing like King of the Mountain with these guys or rugby. It's like, so it was a rough house to live. Rode my bike all over. Small town type of life. But I had a good one.
Right.
Yeah.
How was high school?
High school was fun. I was very expressive in high school. I would go down to like DC and New York, party with like the New York club kids and had a wild time. I did whatever. I was just a very loner. I was always a loner and just always very myself and very expressive in whether I was wearing something wild and funky or punk rock and skateboardish. I just kind of like really floated around with everybody.
Right. Who was your first crush?
My first crush? I would say it was probably Kevin Fura.
Very tasty, cheesy, onion, all of the above. One word to describe it, scrumptious, right? We from the town, so we just gonna say pause first, but it melts in your mouth. You just love it. You know what I'm saying? I wear this shirt to sleep. How much I love 7th Street Burger, man. It's near and dear to my heart. You see the logo? It's near to my heart. That's how we do it, man. Peace.
Right.
That was a real person.
Right.
So if you're out there listening, hi, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin. How you doing? Hope the kids are doing good.
Yeah, exactly. I probably is married. Who knows?
Right. Right.
But I would say, I remember our first kiss, and I'm sorry about this, Kevin. You don't remember? It was at one of those high school parties or something like that. I remember when he first kissed me. It was like one of those like where he was like the whole mouth like covered my face. I was like, I think you're really hot and cute. Can I get past this?
Right.
And then eventually, like the kissing got better. But like,
Right.
like, you know, you're in high school. You don't know what the hell you're doing.
Right. How was your first time?
First time, like sexual time?
Yes.
God, awkward.
Right.
Like you don't know what you're doing. Like you know, like stiff, awkward. You're not sure what's going on. Where's going weird? You know, puberty's hitting. All that stuff's wild.
How old were you?
I was a teenager of some sort.
Okay.
I don't know where in there.
Right. And how old were you when you found the rhythm? Like you're like, okay, getting the hang of this.
I think I was like probably when I got into more like the military, I was fucking a lot more.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot more men to the women there. So I had my choosing.
Right.
Yeah.
So
and I kind of hit the hoe phase, like into that. I've been stuck in the hoe phase since like 19. Let's just face
the military, right?
The military did it.
Right.
The Air Force is gonna love that.
Right.
Join the Air Force, guaranteed to get laid. You get fucking bored. I was in North Dakota. You're either boozing or fucking. Like that's like
yeah, you're a legend. Yeah.
Maybe both. Maybe you are boozing and fucking at the same time. But either or, like, there's not a whole lot to do in Grand Forks.
Right. So
salute you, my friend.
So what made you? So you didn't go to college?
I did. I went to the Air Force first, and the reason being is I did grow up in a really small town. Right. And growing up in a small town, I remember being as early as like 12 and being like, "Oh my God, I don't want to stay here. I'll suffocate." You know, like this is not the life I wanted. I always felt like there was so much more out there. So you know, as soon as I knew I was graduating and I was coming out to that, I was like, what can I do to get out of my small town? Like not live here, not like just go out once in a while, like, down to DC or New York or any of these places, but legit expand my life. And the Air Force was that ticket. At that time, it was 6 weeks of basic training, super simple. It was more educated based than just being,
physical training.
Physical, which there's need for all of that in all the forces. So I'm not trying to dog all you guys, but like Air Force is the best. So yeah, it got me out of my small town. Also got me the college money that I was going to need. I grew up, middle class at that particular time. I don't even know if middle class exists anymore. And I was and because I was such a free spirit when I was a kid, my parents were like, "You're responsible for all your stuff." I had a mohawk, and I already moved out when I was in high school, so I was already on my own. And it was just like it was the right decision for me. And I just hopped on the gravy train and signed up, and then told my parents, like, hey, by the way, I'm joining the Air Force. And they were like, really? You with this? Right. And I'm like, yeah, I'm leaving on this date. And they came and saw me sign in and swear off and do all those things. And next thing I knew, I was in basic training getting yelled at and all that jazz. But I honestly thought basic training was very easy. I mean, just look at the basic principles of what they're trying to do. Right. And then you adjust your actions according to that. You're not going to be an individual in basic training. That's not the point. The point is to take the individuality away so that you can work as a team member. Then bring your individual assets and expand on that. Right. But you're not there to be like the showman of the whole group. If that makes sense. Right. So I found you realize the situation, you observe, and then I adjusted myself. I did fabulous in basic training and tech school, Airman of the Year, Airman of the Quarter kind of thing. So I actually did really well. Right. And then I started college while I was there, and I ended up getting a degree in physiological psychology with a specialization in neuroanatomy.
Right. Love that.
Right? Sorry, long explanation.
No, but have you ever spoken about this on podcasts?
Maybe not always like that, not in that detail, but yeah. This is a much more comfortable conversation about it.
I'm proud.
And I'm a talker, so.
And I love that you feel that way.
Thank you.
That's the atmosphere I try to create, But what was your first job?
First job was Olympia Candid Kitchens, which is in my hometown. They made their own ice cream, and there was a restaurant, and they made their own chocolate and sweets, and I wore the ugliest outfit. Oh my God, it was like this brown and white checkered thing, apron with white clothes underneath. They had the best pickles, though. I would eat the pickles all the time. Right. Yeah. They were just, I don't know, came in a big bucket. They were the best pickles ever. Right. And the ice cream was really good, too.
Right. Free for employees.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how free, but I still ate it.
So you don't really tweet much, but I found one tweet.
Okay.
Right? Which is now X, now formerly known
as
Twitter.
Yeah, how are we supposed to say that now?
So I need more blowjob and handjob content. Who wants a handy or a blowy?
Yeah. That's a good way for when I do that. It's like I'm actually hoping that people, I did have other performers that responded back to that because I do need that content. That's what I'm getting requested. Right. And it's funny because, obviously male talent are like, they want to go all the way, like they just want to show up sometimes to get a handy. They're like, oh, when's the next scene? Like they want to, they want their content too. Right. So it's kind of like a way of me fishing out there. They're either going to tag their favorite talent that they want me to work with, or talent's also going to tag themselves or reach out to me. So that I'm like, okay, cool, I can collab with these people. So I do want to collab with people that are professionals. I don't just collab with fans or anything like that. I like being their fantasy, not their reality. Nice. And also it's a way of engagement. Right. And how do we get bumped up and get off of shadow banned or get in other people's algorithm is engagement on these things. I find Twitter, I used to tweet a lot more. I just found like Twitter, especially during 2020, and just sometimes it can be such this like, whether you want to believe it or not, like social media, there's this energy exchange through your phone. Yes. And if I'm going to be on it, I just found like Twitter to be very negative. So if I'm going to be on Twitter, I just want to advertise my site. Sometimes once in a while I'll peek on there, but I don't want to argue with people. I don't want to see arguments. That's not the social media I want to like ingest if I'm going to ingest it. And honestly, like I do go through and I mute a lot of people, not because their content's bad. It's just like, if I'm going to consume social media, I either want to be learning something, be inspired, something that's going to create a positive effect in my life. I don't I know what you look like with your underwear on. I work with you. Love you. But I don't need to be around it. And so that, because we're all going to consume it in some way, whether we're in the airport or wherever that is.
Right. What are your turnoffs?
God, hygiene, just bad attitude. Like, I don't care. You could be the most attractive person in the room, but if your attitude stinks, I don't want anything to do with you. Right. That's ugly as fuck. Like, I don't even want you. That bad energy is just not something I like it literally, I can feel it. I just don't want to be around it.
Right.
And then definitely hygiene, and not and really honestly, you could extend hygiene into like beyond their physical. You know, is there good emotional hygiene? Are they emotionally intelligent? Mental hygiene? Are they taking care of themselves? Self-awareness, spiritual hygiene. You know, it's not just a physical thing. It's like you take that hygiene across the board.
Right.
Because I only want to really kind of spend time around people that are going to have a positive effect in my life. I don't need people in my life that, So, yeah. And if you can make me laugh, even better.
Even better.
Even better.
Non-negotiables.
Lying. I don't care. I don't care how small that lie is. You lied, get the fuck out of my life. Right. Sorry, that was really aggressive.
No,
like that's exactly how I feel about it.
it.
Honesty to me is even more important than loyalty. I don't need people around my life that's going to blow smoke up my ass. I need people that are going to be real with me and be honest. I don't always going to make the right decisions. Sometimes my decisions are, maybe I'm emotional about something.
Right.
I don't think we always make the right decisions when we're emotional, whether it's a happy emotion or a negative emotion.
True.
So you need people in your corner that are going to be always super honest, not just like, oh yeah, I'm going to be loyal and that's it.
Right.
Loyalty is important too, of course. But I want a straight up honest person.
Right.
Yeah.
Turn-ons.
Turn-ons. Man, if you got a good sense of humor, panty dropping. Yeah. Dead serious. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I'm like, oh, yay.
Yeah. It just gets you.
It does. It does.
Right. And what are you attracted to?
Emotionally intelligent individuals.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're a person that mentally you like to be stimulated as well.
Yeah, I like to be mentally stimulated 100%.
Right.
That's going to get you in the door.
Right.
And then we can go from there.
For sure. Men or women?
Oh, I don't have a choice. I mean, I don't have like a preference really. It's really like, because I really look at people, like I can be attracted to really any gender at that point. Like,
right.
You know, so it's really about the person and how they carry themselves, you know. Yeah, how they carry themselves. Are they emotionally intelligent? Do they have a sense of humor? Are they kind? You know, they got what do they got going on in their life? Sometimes that's super attractive. Not like they got to be like a billionaire making this. It's just like they've got action and movement going on in their life. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. They're busy. They're doing something. They're productive. That's inspiring. Like again, it's that mental stimulation. And when you really are stimulated like that, I don't think like, you know, I look at gender as being like really secondary or even tertiary, like at that point.
Do you ever approach people? Like,
yeah, sometimes.
Right. So what kind of?
Sometimes I'll slide in a DM.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay.
I got a few. It's funny. I got a few in my DM. It's always funny. Like I always look. It's like all these little blue check marks, and I'm like, oh, who's trying to DM me now? If they follow me, then likelihood they're single. If they don't follow me, then I'm like, someone's married.
Right. All right. You're giving out gems out there right now.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
How was your first scene?
My very first scene was Dancing Bear. So it was just a blowjob scene that time. And it was wild. I showed up just to be an extra because I saw it on Craigslist ad. And went down there by myself. I guess I had the looks. I had the big boobs. I was skinny. I had black hair at the time. And they went down this like laundry list of things. I picked, you know, obviously they're just going to blowjob. I was like, fuck yeah, I'll do that. Right. Didn't think much about it. I was like, yeah, I think I'm good.
Right.
And I didn't get nervous until like it was like right my turn.
Right.
Like, you know, like, oh my God, this is really going to happen. I've got to suck dick. And then I just... I didn't want to take as long as the girl before me because I felt like that was a really long time. I was like, I'm going to suck the best dick I've ever sucked in my life. I'm going to make this guy come so fast. Like, you know, that the best dick sucker ever. Yeah. And so in my head, I was thinking of like every nasty ass porn I've ever like played DJ on, you know, and, you know, did the gagging and the spitting. And luckily, I wish I would have stayed in contact with the woman that was sitting next to me. She was she like really pumped me up. She's like, oh, she was the best cheerleader. She pushed my head in and I was like, yeah, this is fucking great. And made him come and I was like, fuck yeah, I did it. And then the very next thing I knew, I was actually getting booked for my first boy girl the very next day, which, you know, back in the day, Bang Bros was the thing, and it was like reality porn and stuff. So for you to be in like a bridesmaid and then immediately do like MILF Soup was like they would want you to wait 6 months, and I got booked like immediately.
Right.
And then kind of all started from there.
Right. What do you hate about the industry?
What do I hate about the industry? Maybe like, I think really the stigma that sometimes comes with an industry, I dislike. I think people just need to really educate themselves a lot. Just educate, like, this is entertainment, not we're not trying to be educators on sex by any means. If you write, like, it's funny, people will write me, be like, how do I get my girlfriend to do that? And I'm like, maybe you should ask her if she wants to. Let's start with that consent first, So yeah, it's probably what I dislike. I always dislike whenever they make every time there's like a documentary on our industry, I feel like they always try to pull out like, it's drama. Let's pull out the most dramatic, horrible parts of it. Well, if you look at any industry in any company, you're going to have a hell of a lot of good, but everybody wants to focus on those two things of bad or whatever. And so I think like, if you're going to do a documentary or you're going to do real reporting on this industry, talk to the individuals that are, the people that are really making it.
What do you love about the industry?
Oh my God. The thing I love about this industry the most, and the reason why I am in it still to this day and plan to be in until the wheels fall off kind of thing, is the autonomy over my own time.
Right.
It really does make a huge difference. When you can decide how you spend every single day. Now, that doesn't mean I give myself a lot of days off. I've given myself a lot of companies. So I do work every day, but I'm working for my own dreams.
Right.
That is, I went from, working for other people as a paralegal and doing other stuff, a ceiling salary, you only make so much. You have to ask off for, sick leave or vacation. Now I create my schedule. I love it. Like, oh, what days are you open? Well, what days do you want me to be open? Let's figure this out together. So the autonomy over my own time is incredible. It's an incredible power to give yourself.
Right. You told me 2 days ago, I'll be in New York Thursday.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Yeah. Let's do it. Yeah.
Do you have a go-to move?
Like for work?
Yeah. For work, like a go-to move. Like,
oh, do I? I guess I probably do. I just, I get so into the moment and every scene that this is going to sound weird. I don't really take note of what I'm doing. Right. I'm just in it. I'm just like, oh, let me figure out what gets this person off, and every person's different. Right. I'm sure there's a particular way that my fans could point out, like how I probably suck dick. They're probably like, oh, that's her move. She does this or that. I would say that's probably a good fan question. Right. Like they probably, because they're observing you, and they probably have their favorite things that you do. Right. I love to shake my ass
notes.
when I'm in. Yeah.
I'll send you my notes. These are tweets for like a year right here. Like, just drop them in there.
Yeah, there you go.
Right
yeah.
There, what's your favorite scene?
My favorite types of scenes are definitely, I definitely love any scene where we have because by this time I understand where the camera angles are, where the camera is and stuff like that. So I love doing gonzo scenes. The freedom just to, kind of fuck with your, you're fucking your partner, you have a consent, you're respecting all the boundaries. And then they just get all the camera angles that they need. Right. It's like free for flow. And I think I don't like it when I have to be like, okay, we're going to need 5 minutes of this over here. It just breaks the rhythm up.
The rhythm, yeah.
And I'm there to, yes, produce a product and everything like that. But yeah, I'm also there to have a good time and enjoy the time that I'm having, if that makes sense.
Right. When did you embrace yourself?
I think we're constantly embracing ourselves. Right. Each layer that you peel, you're going to embrace that. So that probably started, my journey for that probably started in my 30s, to be honest. Mm-hmm. When I got over my bullshit and over my, started getting over my own stuff, you know. I think I started embracing that probably in my 30s. But I definitely find there's just these really amazing moments in my life where I'm like, wow, that's fucking cool. Right. And then you're just constantly embracing yourself as you grow.
Right. How did your family feel about this?
They didn't really have anything to say. I mean, I was already an adult when I started the adult business. I moved out when I was 17, so at a really early age. So I've already been on my own. What were they going to say? Right. Don't do it. Okay, well, pay my fucking bills. What are you going to say at that point? Yeah. I'm an adult making my own decisions. It wasn't like I was still living at home or even reliant on my parent. My mom or my dad would have had to say, right? So.
Any boyfriends?
I've had them. None in my life now.
When was your last boyfriend?
God, we broke up in 2020.
Okay.
Yeah. That was 3 years. So I've had boyfriends, and my relationships have been very long. I've had girlfriends too, where the relationships have been very long. Right. So I've dated both men and women.
Ever at the same time?
I don't know if I ever. Maybe back in the day when they wasn't telling everybody about each other. Right. Now I'm very honest because I don't want any problems.
Right. So why'd you guys break up?
The last relationship?
Yes.
Oh, because he was a complete liar. Yeah.
Yeah,
that was a bad. Yeah, and to be honest about I think sometimes. Yeah, I was with that person for 3 years and realized everything was a complete lie. That was a math, but it was a very interesting lesson to learn, betrayal, and made me realize, it's okay to stick by your boundaries in relationships, create them. Not everything is okay. And, a red flag is a red flag, and don't go into situations with a hungry heart.
Right.
Because when you go into situations with a hungry heart, you're going to more than likely accept a lot of bullshit that you would never accept if you're really internally and full and overflowing with your own personal joy and happiness.
I love that. If you could have dinner with 3 people, who would they be?
Gosh, these are awesome questions.
Thank you.
Jesus, who would I have dinner with? Huh. I might have to come back to that.
All right.
I love food.
Yeah.
Anthony Bourdain would have been really awesome. Did they have to be alive or?
They're alive.
I think Anthony Bourdain would be really interesting just because he's a food critic, food person, foodie. Yeah. And if you're going to sit down and have dinner, why not have someone who probably knows a lot about food and is going to take you to a really cool place or suggest a really cool place. So that would be definitely one. Yeah. 2, I would love to have dinner with my dad again.
Okay.
That would be really cool just because I would love to tell him he passed at such an early age. I was turning 21 when he passed. Yeah. So a lot of time has passed between now and then. And so to have dinner with him, that would be really, really dope just to catch him up on my life. Right. Be like, hey, I'm doing it, Dad. I'm fucking making it happen, Yeah. That would be really fucking cool. And God, they're both dead. Third person. Who would the third person be? I think the third person would have to be, it would either be I don't know. I would love to actually sit down probably with maybe a really interesting indigenous or spiritual leader of some sort just to get a perspective on life and in a whole different realm than the society that we live in.
I like that. I would definitely I lost my dad in 2015, so I would definitely want to have dinner with my dad too.
Yeah, you felt that.
Felt that. So, last 3 questions.
Oh, wow.
Message to your younger self.
Message to my younger self, just, go with the flow. Everything's always going to work out. Just accept it. Just be open.
Right. What are your goals?
Be a better person than I was yesterday.
And what are your dreams?
I'm just making them come true.
Right. Love that.
Just keep chipping away and making them come true.
Right.
That's the ultimate dream is to, you have this imagination, but to make it into fruition and to really make it actually happen where it's in a physical format now that to me is so joyful. Right. Pretty fucking amazing.
Right. Well, let us know where we can find you. Who you want to shout out. What are you going to shout out?
Hey, so you can find me on Instagram. It's Alexis Fawx Live, FAWX. Twitter is Alexis Fawx. And if you want to get a little spicy, it's foxfans.com. If you love coffee, HAF.coffee is my coffee website. And you can also catch out my podcast, The Highest Fawx Show.
Yeah, so make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment. Stay tuned for this one. Legendary day.
Yes.
And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. And thank you for all their awesome questions.
Absolutely.
I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. We're out. Peace. Peace and love, world. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, support the channel, show your love. You know what I'm saying? We having great conversation week in and week out. You never know who's coming. You never know what we're going to do. But at the end of the day, it's all about peace and love. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment.